Hi everyone, this is Truthful, your French veteran GM. Today I'm making a slightly short layback video about a concept of a mimic, like a dragon mimic. This would be a mimic that spends too much time in a dragon's hoard, so much time that they actually become some kind of a pet to the dragon. They established a rapport within the horde between the dragon and the mimic. And at some point, the dragon died. And when the dragon died, the mimic ate the dragon itself. And they become convinced that there are actually some kind of a dragon because of the mix of memories and effects of the dragon corpse on the mimic itself, making the mimic no longer your usual mimic, but something different, something, I believe, funnier. Hey, editing truthfully here. I forgot to mention about here my Kickstarter, which is currently available on Kickstarter about dragons. This is the Bee Dragon Kickstarter. You can find it. There's a link in the video below and on the image here. I'm just showing a simple image about the Kickstarter itself. Please go visit it, just share, even if you cannot buy any of it. I'm really hoping I can get more support to reach the final goal. The current Kickstarter is already above 60% of the funding goal, and I would love for it to reach its 100% in the quickest way possible. Thank you all, and back to the normal video. So the idea would be to take a mimic, which is something like this. This is the base elements of the mimic, and I'm gonna keep most of the base elements of the mimic. Most likely I'm gonna remove the stealth. I don't think this mimic is going to be that stealthy. And I'm going to change the size and the type of some elements of the mimic there. So to consider this, I considered what would be a bigger mimic. So I've seen other people for which I have actually the books or the access PDF versions of their books. So they're like people made like a bigger mimic that has kind of this mimicry and envelope effect and stuff. And it's a funny one. I don't really like the shape-changing need, but I liked the mimicry kind of thing. That because the mimic, if it's a dragon mimic, it should have kind of, I think, a way to imitate the dragon roar. They wouldn't be smart enough to really speak or have a language, but they should be a bit smarter than this. I think I'm going to probably up this intelligence up there. And then there's all the people who made other types of mimics. The giant mimic, for instance, has these pseudopods and bites, again, multi-attacks as well, and these kind of things. I'm looking for a big creature that would be there's like the Dune mimic as well from the I can't remember who made this one, but I love it. Still, they made this kind of engulf feature where you get to eat up people inside it, which is fun. It's kind of a huge creature, which kind of works for me. So I'm gonna probably start from something of this size, and then move a bit the features. The dragon I'm looking for as a target is the deep dragon from the Fizz, and I think it's the Fizzban Treasure of Dragon thing. Because this one is fun. It has kind of this acid commanding type of spore effects, and it spewts out kind of spores. And I really like the idea of these spores being out there in the game. And so the dragon mimic would be a mix of all this. I actually started by making a video where I would take all the time to make the mimic step by step. It took about 30 to 40 minutes, but the video wasn't on, so this is gone for the ages. But what I came up with was something like this. This would be the gist of the dragon mimic idea. I'm using the baseline, which is near, I believe, the Deep Dragon, I think. Yeah, but with a dumber version. It is a bit high on wisdom, so maybe I'm going to bump this down a bit. The idea is this is a mimic that believes they're a Deep Dragon. So they have their usual acid immunities, but they also gained from eating up the Deep Dragon, the poison immunity of the Deep Dragon. The Psychic, not so much, so I'm not going to keep it. They shouldn't be able to be grappled, because they're going to grapple people back, actually. And that's the idea of fooling grapple here, which is if someone tries to grapple them, they get grappled because of the adhesive effect. So the feature is not all finished yet. I'm just toying with the ideas, but when this video will be released, you will have a PDF version of the Dragon Mimic, which will be fully flashed. The idea being I want to keep some features of the dragon. I wanted to keep some immunities with them, some senses. They have like this huge blind sight ability. They have kind of the walking, they're faster than they should be because of the strength they gain from the dragon. They still cannot fly. I don't think they should fly. It could be something to add to them. That's up to you. I think they should have kind of a burrow speed or a swim speed as well. Currently, I'm toying a bit with the speeds and stuff. This is something I'll adjust in the final draft. Skill-wise, I don't think they're really stealthy. They're not really. They're no longer the stealthy type. They're a big dragon-like creature. And what they do is they probably scare off other creatures or hunt smaller creatures because they are big enough to no longer exactly need the sneak tactic of a usual mimic. They kind of have this effective build and power that they can actually eat up other creatures, especially the ones that would end up in the dragon lair, either by exploration or greed, because they want to, well, try to find the dragon hoard. So it's kind of a funny thing to me that this creature still has the grappling effects of a normal mimic. They would grapple someone easily. They would grapple anyone that touches them or try to grapple them, which is the funny part. And that's the thing, that the heroes won't be able to see that this is not a dragon. This is the false appearance for this mimic. He's been set into this dragon form forever, so he's like no longer trying to change into anything else. He could maybe actually forgot how to, and he's just this cool looking deep dragon. But if you go out and start punching this dragon, you're gonna get this blobby effect, and stuff gets sticky into this creature quickly. And then you got these pseudopods, which are actually what looks like his claws, and he's using his pseudopods to hit people and then engulf them. Or if they're stick to him because they just try to hit him in melee, they're just getting engulfed. And because they believe they're a dragon, they got kind of this salvo. I inspire myself from these actions of the deep dragon. The dragon has kind of this spore salvo. They can just create a bunch of spores around themselves. And the idea is that would be kind of their breath weapon of the dragon mimic, is breathing a bunch of small mimics which are actually parts of himself, and they would probably look like coins or green sickly looking metal coins, these kind of things. They would just spray in like a huge cone, probably a 60-foot cone or something like this. You do need to create this at some point. And the idea is the cone is going to be a lingering effect, meaning that the creature is going to have to fight the cone 60 feet. That's what I was looking for. The creatures, if they get breathed on them by this cone. Obviously, there's like a save they're gonna have to do to survive the effects. They probably take some damage. I don't plan this to be like a high damage type of effect. It's more like you get gooed by the inside the effect, so you get like maybe like a restraining effect or a slow effect or something like that, and then moving around within the lingering effect of this cone, because once the cone has been spread, no matter what the other creatures do, there's like this 60-foot cone of substance, and this substance is kind of a difficult terrain that can damage creatures either by acid or poison. I haven't decided yet at the current moment. And then the small mimics, once they've been spewed up like this, they become kind of a layer effect. They get kind of this mimic rush effect. Don't pay attention to the values here. None of these have been adjusted. And the idea would be that the mimic spawns if there's like a cone. If you do like a 60-foot cone-ish, like this. This is your difficult terrain once the mimic spewed all these. And then the mimic gets to create a line from this. Like they go and do like a 20 feet-ish line in any direction they want to. And it expands like this. And any creatures on this needed to make a save to not get attacked by the swarm. And it could be either a line or a 10-foot cube like this. And I like the idea because this means they're gonna have to play around a moving terrain who's trying to eat them up, while the mimic itself might just hide in different spots. That's the terrain part I haven't got into yet. But the mimic, the dragon mimic, where are you? Here. The dragon mimic is going to be in an ancient dragon lair, and I'm thinking a deep dragon would have kind of this connecting caves, and possibly maybe not completely connecting because he has this burrow speed, so he might just be burrowing from one space to another. So the player is going to have to play around this creature entering kind of the walls and then not being really targetable for a moment, so they either prepare about this, or they themselves have some ways of digging up the place. These should be soft rock, so they could maybe just blast it with a spell, because I'm thinking creatures, this is a CR10 type of a creature, so the heroes probably have a big enough spells or features to start to actually dig through stuff, which could be really fun. The main limitation might be the damage type. Currently this is poison and acid. There is no reason not to flavor the mimic into any kind of other dragons, so feel free to change any things. I'm still going to keep it some kind of regional effect, because usually when a dragon dies, the regional effect dies with them. But what if the mimic eating up the dragon actually transferred some of the dragon powers in regional effects, and so the cave and maybe a smaller radius of the regional effect still lingers based on the dragon origin, with kind of a mimic touch to it, which I will detail in the PDF. And I think that's all for me for now. Here is one of the many demented ideas I end up coming up with, because probably too many people in my brain. Still, I hope you find this fun, and you can make use of these PDFs as you like and have fun with them. If you have any feedback or comments, just put them in the comments in the video, or reach to me in the DM directly using the Discord or the Start Playing. I'm always interested in feedback. Until then, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.